Alright, so I want to say welcome to everybody. And if you're not familiar with me, my name is James Lane. I'm really into cars and stuff like that. And if you're not subscribed, over in the right hand corner, you can click the subscribe button. If you're really into cars and stuff, and you're interested in seeing some cool things, you click that, and you'll be subscribed to me, and you can follow everything that I do, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's just free. We're here in sunny North Carolina. It's actually pretty warm outside. And as you can see, I've kind of got my arm in a sling. I had a little accident the other day playing hockey, and I've hurt my shoulder. And it's kind of put a little bit of the damper on working on cars. So, stuck in the house, so I figured, why not just do a live stream? Okay. And also, if you're really into cars, you know the word SEMA. If you're really into cars, you know the word SEMA. And what SEMA is an industry-only trade show that happens in Las Vegas every year, usually during this week. And it would have been this week, but they canceled it. And I had the pleasure of going last year for the first time, and it was just an incredible experience all the way around. It was 5 solid days of walking around and looking at stuff, and I really didn't get to see everything. I missed a lot of the high-end builds and stuff like that. It was just so much to take in, and not really enough time. And usually when I go to Vegas, I usually like to do other things, and that was really one of the only trips that I ever took to Vegas where I didn't do anything else. I literally was at SEMA from 7 when it opened until 5 o'clock when it closed, talking to people, looking at builds, checking out new products. And that's the beauty about that. The downside is it's not open to the public. It's only for people in the industry. And I just so happen to be one of those people in the industry, not based off of YouTube. So yeah, it was a dream of mine to always go, and I finally got to go last year. And I did make some videos, and you can check those out. Now, as you can see here, what I'm showing you on the screen, now this is some of the video that I shot, and there's just a wide variety of cars at this event. There's literally everything for everybody if you were into cars. It doesn't matter if you like Corvettes, if you're into muscle cars, you're into rat rods, exotics, imports. It doesn't matter. Everybody that is anybody is at this show. Whether it be a manufacturer, a builder, a shop, they are all here at this show. And that's really the beauty about it, is because you can really just take a look at everything. And most of these people are showing off their new products, stuff that just hit the market, stuff that hadn't hit the market yet, that'll hit the market in the following year. And they basically get to showcase a lot of their parts on some of these high-end builds. I mean, we're talking about outrageous, expensive, high-end builds, wild stuff you'll see nowhere else. And I'm really disappointed that I didn't get to make it this year. Hopefully we can get back to next year. And I know this year I was actually going to take Dale Ray JYD Scott, my buddy. I know you've seen him on my channel. He's got a YouTube channel himself. You can go check that out. He was really looking forward to going this year for the first time because, like I said, usually going to SEMA is a bucket list thing for car guys. Okay, let's take a look here. So what you see on your screen is basically the 2020 SEMA show, and it's all online. It's called the SEMA 360. Now, being down and out with my arm here for the past few days, I've had some time to check this out and to kind of feel it out and see, exactly how it works. And I'll have to give it, overall, it's pretty decent. There are some areas that could definitely use some work. But I'm pretty impressed, I guess, overall with how it's put together. I guess there's a couple gripes I have about it. The main thing is connecting with manufacturers and companies and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to do. There's a messaging system. You can send them a message, and it's like snail pace slow. There's been a couple manufacturers that I did contact about some products, and really hadn't gotten a response back yet. They do have something called a roundtable discussion right here, where you can basically set up like a Zoom roundtable and you can talk to them about it. And most of the people that do have that set up, I think that's really the way to go as far as talking with these companies and talking about their products. I tried to do it, but for some reason, the company I tried to connect with, every time I tried to connect, I would go from my webcam to the camera that's on my laptop, and it was just a disaster pretty much. So I haven't messed with it anymore. But I want to go over a few things that I've saw that's been pretty interesting. And first thing I want to show is I want to go over here to Chevrolet or GM. Now, with anything, car related, people have their preferences. People, they like certain brands. They hate Ford. They love Chevrolet or whatever. They don't like this style. They don't like like rat rods. They don't like low riders. Whatever. Me, if you really know me, you can kind of tell from my channel. But if you've known me for a while, I really like the weird stuff. I like the weird stuff, the different stuff, and I appreciate all styles, all makes, models, all years. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a Model T or a 2020 Corvette, or a Datsun 280. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I like it all. Now, I do have my preferences and stuff, but I can appreciate everything. It doesn't matter if it's jacked up trucks and imports. I know some people, there's just certain things people hate. Oh, I don't like rat rods, or I don't like imports. Those guys kind of, clash. Classic cars versus the import guys, older guys versus the younger guys. But the thing about it, in the automotive industry, it is constantly changing. The styles of the vehicles are constantly changing. The technology is constantly changing, and I'm a little bit more open to all that stuff. Like I said, appreciating everything. And one thing that stood out was the GM Chevrolet. Last year, when I was in person, I visited their booth, and I don't have a picture of it, and I don't believe they have it up here. Actually, yes, they do. Right here, let me scroll up some more so you can see it. Right here above me, it's basically a C10. And what it is, now this is a complete electric truck. They used most of the components from a Chevrolet Volt and basically made this thing all electric, and it was super cool. I mean, it was basically like doing an engine swap. And had, the Volt battery was in the bed. It was really cool. But this year, what they have is they've converted a K5 Blazer, and I believe it is four-wheel drive. Now, I'm not exactly sure if you're going to be able to check out the audio on this video, but I'll do my best. I don't know if it feeds through, but I just thought this was pretty cool.
Hello, my name is Russell Blinas. I'm the director of the performance and racing team. I'm concentrating on propulsion here at General Motors. Behind us, we have our K5 Blazer EV. This truck, we took a bone stock K5 Blazer and truly just did a propulsion swap. What we've done with this E-Crate is really give the customer another option so that he can take his classic vehicle and convert it over to a fully electrified vehicle. 100% based on our Bolt EV, utilizing over 90% of production content from that vehicle. All of the power electronics, all of the battery is right out of the Bolt. If you look at the production engine, there's approximately 175 horsepower. With our E-Crate, we have over 200 horsepower on hand to be able to motivate the Blazer. One of the things that have a big impact on range is obviously weight, also tires, where we put off-road tires on it. You know, that slows the range down a little bit. We're digging in more, but we believe it'll be somewhere in the 100 to 150 mile range, utilizing the 60 kilowatt hour battery out of the Bolt. What we really want to do is lead the way as it comes to electrifying your performance in hot rod vehicles.
Okay, so I hope all that audio came through for you guys. I'm not sure if it feeds through my software, but I adjusted my mic so you could hear that. But when I ran across this, I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, they took an old platform and they basically converted it, you know, to electric using existing parts out of a Volt. And from what I understand is they're going to actually offer this as a package. You can buy this package and it'll come with everything that you need to swap into any kind of vehicle that you would like to, you know, do. Like basically like a LS swap. I know there's a lot of controversy about electric vehicles. You know, a lot of stuff about, you know, the environment. I get it. But I believe electric vehicles are part of the future. I'm a gasoline guy myself, but this is different. This is something that you don't see every day, and I just thought it was pretty interesting. They got a cool little time-lapse video here of them building the truck, and I believe okay, so a month. Took them a month to put this thing together, but of course this is GM Performance that we're talking about here. They got all the parts and the people and everything to do a build like this in no time. But I thought this was really interesting. Really interested, and maybe I'll be able to see this thing in person in the future at some time. Let me see. Let me go down and see. Now here is the E10 as they called it, which is a C10 with this basic same drivetrain in it out of a Volt. And like I said, I got to see this thing in person, and it was super cool. I mean, super nice, over the top nice. And when I went and looked under the hood, I was expecting an LS swap, and it just happened to be an electric Volt engine pretty much. I know they talk about range. We're not driving, you know, a Tesla or a Prius. You know, it's a classic truck. So I would say, you know, 150, 200 mile range would be sufficient. You could drive this to your local car show or cruise in or anything. But I can guarantee you that if you showed up in this, that nobody else would have anything that would compare to this. And looking at these pictures here and this video, it really doesn't do it justice. You need to see it in person. Let's see, let's go back. The other gripe that I do want to have about this is it's kind of hard to navigate. Like if I go and click on, I'm gonna pick somebody at random. If I go scrolling down, go way down here, And let's say, oh, okay, we're going to pick all data. Well, if you're looking for them, you can search and you can pull them up pretty easily in the search. But as soon as you go back, guess where you go? Right back to the top of the page. And that's pretty annoying if you're digging, like really digging for stuff. That definitely needs some improvement there. We'll talk about West Coast Customs. Now, if you know West Coast Customs, they used to have a show. They used to be on Pimp My Ride on MTV. I guess they do still have a show, but you know, of course, they're a pretty well-known builder out in California, and they built a Dodge truck, and they did a 24-hour stream on it, which it's over now. They did it back on Tuesday, and you could donate. Let's see if it'll. You could donate. So they were taking donations for the USO. The highest donor was going to win the truck. I don't know. I don't seem to know where the link to that is. But I followed that. That was pretty interesting. It's basically just a stock truck with a bunch of bolt-ons. But that's pretty cool. You can go check that out. They have a YouTube channel, and you can check out the truck and donate if you want. It's a good cause. I tried to win it. I don't think my little bid's gonna hold up. Ford, I didn't really see anything that really stood out, except for the 2021 Ford GT. Now, not too many people can afford this car because it is a supercar, but it is pretty cool. Of course, this car's been out for several years. I think this is a revision of it. EcoBoost twin turbo V6. I believe it's a 3.5 liter. It's pretty interesting for the amount of horsepower that little motor makes. It's a pretty impressive car, but most of these cars, I'm not sure how much this thing is brand new. I want to say it's probably in the mid to upper six-figure mark. So that's out of most of our budgets. I don't see me getting one of those, but I'd love to have one. Let's take a look at some builds. Now, I wasn't sure what you had to do to get a build on here. I think you just had to submit it or something. But there are some cool builds here. You can kind of search based off of what you want to see. But I'm just going to kind of go down the list here. Just kind of scroll, and we'll check a few things out. Some have videos, and some of them just have still pictures. But I thought this was a pretty interesting 29 Ford. Seemed to be a pretty nice build. And like I said, if you go in person, you get to see this stuff in person. And it's a much better experience than checking it out on, you know, the computer or on a video or whatever. Yeah, but this thing seems to be a pretty nice one. Pretty nice built. Really like those fat white walls. Got the cut down grill shell there. Just some subtle pinstriping here and there. Really nice. But as you can see, this thing's all custom inside and out. I mean, look at that interior. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you see at SEMA. Now, this next car that I want to show you, I was really, really impressed with this car. And I really, really do like these cars. This is basically, it's like a clone of a 1955 SL Goldwing Mercedes. These cars are super, super rare and super, super expensive also. Now, this guy has made this fiberglass body off of a mold off an original body. And I believe he's put it down on top of a later model SL, maybe 500, don't quote me on that, but man, this thing is super sick. I would love to see this car in person. I mean, just the way it's sitting and everything. And basically, this guy right here, he's the owner, and he basically talks about the build, and you know, he didn't really go into depth of like what he actually done, but he did take this molded body and put it over a later model SL. So I'm guessing it's maybe got a V12 or a V8 twin turbo. I'm not sure. They don't even pop the hood, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to see the inside of this thing. The color combination and everything is just super sweet. And this guy's also built some pretty high-end Porsches and such. We'll skip through here and see if we could. And believe it or not, he actually started out building import tuners too back in the day. And he's kind of transitioned like I have. But here's the some of the still photos they took of it. Let's see if I can get it to that point for you. I don't know if the audio is patching through.
Go right a little bit. Okay. Oh my God.
Yo, that was crazy.
Oh my God.
Yay, just burned down some expensive tires. They got some renderings over here on the side. Looks like a little roadster. Now that would be a cool one to build for sure. For sure. I'm not sure if they're actually building that or if that's just the rendering they have of it. But Star Chief. Okay. Yeah, Star Chief convertible. Pretty rare car. You don't see too many of these. And man, I wish they had a video on this thing because it is super sweet. I love the color. I love the way it sits. The interior. Oh man, the interior looks good. That's a good looking car. And then take a look at this engine underneath this hood. Man, that's super cool right there. Wish they would at least had a video with the top down. And there's a side view so you can see how low this car sits. I'm sure it's on airbags. I'm not sure if it's on a spec chassis or not, but this is a really cool build. The wheel color combination, just everything. Pretty nice. Now I believe this is a BMW 2002 now. I believe this was actually at SEMA last year. And this thing is pretty radical, as you can see. Wheels, suspension, wide body kit. I believe it has a later model M swap with a turbo. Lots of time and effort that went into this thing. Complete custom interior. Again, I guess I'm drawn to this thing because it's blue. I do like the 2002s. I like the way they look. I just don't know what it is. Blue with the bronze wheels. That's one of those things I really like. There might be some people that don't like it, but I think it's a good combination. Super nice car. The 64 Corvette. Now, this car was at SEMA last year, and I did get a chance to check this thing out. And it's over the top. A ton of carbon fiber in this car. On the wheels, on the trim. It looked like the bumpers, I think the bumpers were skinned in carbon fiber. But just look at those wheels. Whole lip is carbon fiber. There's your carbon fiber bumpers. Super nice Corvette. 71 Ford Maverick. Now here's something you don't see every day. Somebody customizing one of these things.
Well, I found this little car on eBay. I never would have thought it would have turned out this way. I've never seen another Maverick quite like this one.
And I don't think you will see another one like that. That's just crazy right there. That's got to be the best looking Maverick I've ever seen. And they're not the best looking car either. But that one's pretty nice, for sure. And all these guys, these are all entries into the SEMA Battle of the Builders. Let's see if we can visit their page. Okay, so they already do have the top 12. Well, I haven't watched this, so let's watch it together. We'll see who the top 12 are.
The Builders' top 12 are: in the Sport Compact category, Chip Foose and his 1974 Jaguar E-Type. Josh Kroll and his 2004 Subaru WRX STI. Todd Buddy and his 1993 Mazda RX7 FDS3. In the hot rod category, Andy Leach and his 19...
I want to pause it right there. That Mazda 3, we'll have to check that out. I did see that one. That is a pretty nice build. That thing's super cool. Even if you're not into import tuners, we got to check that out. So I'll continue with the video.
71 Plymouth Cuda. Brady Radweiler and his 1963 Chevrolet full custom two-door wagon.
That's a nice one too. I've seen
Kyle
that.
Kuhnhausen and his 1964 Chevrolet Corvette. In the truck and off-road category, Brad DeBerti and his 2020 Toyota Tacoma. Mark Giambalvo and his 1965 Chevrolet C10 pickup. Randy Borcherding and his 1971 Ford Ranchero. In the Young Guns category, Austin Phipps and his Chevrolet Camaro RS. Cody Meneses and his 1968 Chevrolet Camaro. Eli DeWitt and his 1967 Pontiac Le Mans. SEMA would like to congratulate all of our top 12 builders and wish them luck on the final round.
I do see a few other ones that I checked out. Now, this little 64 International Transstar cab over was pretty nice.
This is our 1964 International CO 1700 Lodestar. We built this for SEMA, and it's basically just built to show off our billet offset drive assembly that we make for an LS swap into a mid-engine style vehicle or sand car. Everything on this truck is custom, full custom chassis, utilizes C6 Corvette suspension. It's twin turbocharged, makes lots of power, has huge wheels and tires, and we also built this in 6 weeks' time, start to finish. Lots of custom stuff. Front bumpers custom, fenders are custom. As I said before, full custom chassis. Parts for this thing are very hard to acquire, being that it's a very rare vehicle to be used for anything other than scrap nowadays. We're pretty proud of it. Hope you guys like it.
Man, being a truck driver and really liking those cab overs, That thing's super cool. That's probably one of the best ones, best looking ones I've ever seen. Some pretty cool lead slits. 49 Cadillac. Doesn't get too much nicer than that right there. Wow, that about looks like a Bentley interior right there. That wood grain on the dash, I love it. Underneath. If you've never built a car, you have no idea how much time and effort goes into one to get one to look like that underneath. I can make them usually look good on top, but I can make them look decent on the bottom, but I don't have the patience to get anything to look like that on the bottom. It just I just don't have the patience for it. Not to mention that if I did have something looking like that, it'd probably get a scratch on it the first day that I put the thing on the road. There we go. So, like I was telling you, this thing is a 91 Mazda RX7, and they've put a RX3 front end off of it. It's really, really, really nice. I think it's a custom 4-rotor engine with billet rotor housings. If you're familiar with the rotary engines, they're usually 2 rotors, 13B, 12B, or 12A. There is a 3-rotor engine from Japan that's kind of rare, but they made this thing 4-rotor. And there was a video, because I saw the video on it. The guy told all about it. Okay, here's the video. Let's watch the video. Oh, it's all-wheel drive too, so. Oh man, I hadn't heard it run yet. That's cool. Come on, rev it up, rev it up. I want to hear them rev it up. If you're not familiar with these things, man, they sound like weed eaters. They really do. Especially the 2 rotors. Oh, I guess that's the only video on here. I would say, and this is just me, as far as Battle of the Builder on the import side, I like Chip Foose, and I'm sure his car is probably a little bit more extreme than this one, but I have to give my vote for this one right here, for sure. Definitely would have to be that RX7. That thing is super, super cool. It's just about, I would say, from what I'm looking at least 80% of the manufacturers are on here this year. There are a few that I guess decided not to participate. I actually was not going to participate in 360 this year, but I decided at the beginning of the week, well, why not? I might as well try it since I'm not going to be there, and I'm kind of glad I did, because this bum shoulder over here has got me down, and can't do too much work. I'm right in the middle of stages of doing some grinding and such, and I can't hold a grinder, so I can hold a mouse, type on a keyboard with one hand, so here I am. Products. I've actually taken a look at a lot of the products, and maybe because it's all online, there's not really, I didn't really see anything that's really stood out to me this year. Let me see. Maybe we'll go check out the new products marketplace. I haven't really checked this out, but we'll see. Scroll here and see what they got. Now, a lot of this stuff, you know, most of these new products, a lot of the new products are for, you know, newer cars, modern cars. Mainly here on my channel, I mostly do older stuff. I do some late model stuff, but a lot of the stuff is, you know, new products for cars that just hit the market. You know, stuff along like the 2020 Corvette that just came out. I mean, it's that kind of stuff like that that the new products are for. They do have some new products for, you know, older vehicles, but they're just kind of few and far in between. Like, see here, you know, shock absorbers for a 2020 Tundra. I mean, this is usually what it comes down to. But then you know, I got products like, you know, cut resistant gloves. It's all kinds of crazy stuff here. Lighting, you know, headlights and stuff, you know, 2020 and up headlights. You know, stuff along these lines. And I didn't really see anything that was like, gave me the wow factor. But then again, it could just because most of this stuff's online this year. They've got a networking lounge where you can connect with people, basically reps from all the different companies, and you got roundtable discussions like I talked about earlier. Like, let me see if I can find somebody like these guys here, Vampire Tools. You can join their roundtable, and it basically connects you on Skype, and they can do product demonstrations and stuff like that. And they do have industry education. They do seminars, basically Zoom seminars. As you can see, there's a list of them, and they're all at different times. Per rules, I'm not allowed to stream or record audio or video of anything that goes on in any of these, so we can't check that out. I believe I'm going to wrap it up on 360. This is a live view of the Bentley. Constantly get questions about this car, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. So I've been driving this thing pretty frequently now. I just took a 500-mile road trip week before last. I really haven't made any video, just little bits and pieces here and there. I still love the car. I love it. You're not going to get a better ride. This is one of the best riding cars that I've ever owned. It gets quite a bit of attention. Maybe some negative attention sometimes. I don't know if it's jealousy or it just people tend to want to cut you off, brake check you, riding around town and stuff in it for the most part. But I think it's pretty cool that I can take this car that I bought at the salvage auction for $12,000 and take this thing and pull into the ritziest neighborhood in town, and people think you're a rock star. And little do they know that I'm not even close to being a rock star. I was riding through the ritzy neighborhood near downtown, and I pulled up to this house, and it's probably the biggest house in the neighborhood, probably multi-million-dollar house, which is a lot of money for a house in central North Carolina. And the guy's out there, he's watering his flowers, and it's so funny because I pulled to the stop sign, and I looked left, I looked right, and I saw him. He saw me, and he kind of did the, you know, he's still watering, but he's looking at me kind of thing. And he turned the water off, and I just happened to have the window down, and he's just staring at me, and he's smiling, and he starts waving. And, you know, I waved back at him, and I had the window down, and he said, "Hey, that's a really nice car." And I told him, I said, "Thanks," you know, and when I drove off, he kind of did one of those stare at me while I drove by kind of thing. Until I was like gone out of sight, I could just see him in the mirror. He just kept staring. And I was thinking to myself, man, here's this guy staring at me and this car. And I'm thinking, that dude should probably have like 2 or 3 of these things in his driveway, in the garage or something, you know, like a Rolls Royce. And he was just so impressed with this car. And I think most of it's just the name, really. I mean, it is a really high-end car. It is really nice. No way would I ever attempt to buy one of these things brand new. Not with my income level. I guess if I had millions and millions of dollars and it didn't matter, sure, yeah, I'd go buy a brand new Bentley. I've always wanted a 4-door. I don't know why. I've always wanted a 4-door, and when I ran across this car and I bought it, I got lucky that it was just so happened to be at the local salvage auction. I didn't have to try to get one from like Atlanta or Miami or New York or something along them lines, California, where most of these cars are. Now that I do have the 4-door, I kind of wish that it was a 2-door, the Continental GT. Like I said, I appreciate everybody watching. And until next time, everybody be safe. And we'll see you.